Okay, still relying on the economic factors, another main barrier that we have faced is not to have a developed supply chain and value chain, because this may cause some bottlenecks and this will lead to the undesirable delays in our projects.
Yes, I think that in our case we have been working from the very beginning with the maritime cluster in order to understand who is who, what companies, even the ones that are doing business in traditional maritime economy, how they could produce value, or what their activities that they are doing also could support the new economy that we are trying to develop offshore, in relation with aquaculture, in relation with offshore wind, or in relation with multi-use offshore platforms. So the involvement of all the stakeholders and mapping these stakeholder structure, I think that is essential from the very beginning, and also the dialogues, the interactions that you can do with these with those companies is quite important, because they are also there's also a source of innovation in those dialogues with the companies. So my recommendation here will be work together closely from the very beginning with the maritime cluster or whatever organization you can have around the maritime sector, and also try to enhance the dialogues with them in order to look for common interests and synergies in the activity that you are going to develop.
Now we move to the social factors, and under a societal point of view, one of the main barriers that we need to overcome are the conflicts with other ocean management goals, as the marine or maritime routes and the fishing.
Yes, yes. That has been also an issue here for us. I think the traditional communities that use the ocean, sometimes you have to approach them in order to work together and introduce new activities, because otherwise you can have a source of conflict. In particular, in relation with the fishermen, we have been working with them from the very beginning in order to show them what we are going to do, how we are going to work with them. We have allowed them from the very beginning to do fishing inside of our test site. Also, we have been working with them in new projects in order to improve the value of the fish that they produce in our test site with innovation, with new projects, and also to show them what kind of innovation they have to introduce in order to make compatible the traditional activities that they have been doing with the new activities that we plan to do. I think that this kind of interaction is also essential, and if you develop those dialogues from the very beginning, you avoid also problems later on. I have to say that it's not easy, but if you have a committed group of people on that, it can be done and it's feasible. We already have involved fishermen in several projects in order that they can also have some kind of income. In some cases, we are also down some compensation, but also in a fair approach. So I think that these you have to get the fishermen and other traditional users of the sea on board from the very beginning. That's my recommendation.
Again, under social factors, one barrier that we can also have in mind, or may have in mind, is that the lack of specialized workers or workforce, because maybe they cannot adapt themselves as quick as necessary to these new technologies or novel technologies.
Yeah, I think that here also is quite important to invest in training and traditional enterprises in order that their skill for their workforce could be skilled in new capacities, and also in order to show them what is the new kind of jobs that you are going to create, what is the needs of that jobs, what are the competencies of that jobs. So what we have done is working very closely from the very beginning with the university, with the maritime cluster, and with the administration in order to support with public money this training work. And in that way also we use this training to introduce in traditional companies this new vision of what can be done in the offshore economies and the opportunities that are on that. So I think that this is my recommendation again will be working together in order to focus these new opportunities and to train the youngers on that.
Another great challenge is to get the social acceptance of these novel technologies. And this is also a big barrier.
Yeah. You need the social acceptance. We need from the very beginning the support of our citizens. So what we have done is just our test site has been built just in front of the city in such a way that the common citizens can see what we are doing. The highway is very nearby, so every day that they go through that, they can see what the activities that we are doing. We are not hiding anything. We are trying to do a lot of transparency on what we do. We have been showing what we have done in the news. We are trying to involve here the media. Also, we have been trying to involve the college, the schools, showing what future we are trying to build, how this is going to impact and benefit them. I think that we have to explain a lot and convince them that the visual impacts that we are going to produce are fully compensated by other benefits in relation with having much more cleaner energy, security in food, and also creation of new jobs, qualified jobs using our untapped offshore resources. I think that all the work that you can do on that is going to be little, and you are going to also to have strong alliances with media and with the communication groups in order to try to go through the public, because it's not easy to get their attention.
Now we are on the technological part, the technological factors, and where we have encountered or found some barriers. I think that the most important part here and the biggest barrier is to get the technology from the early stages, as Joaquin said before, to become bankable. That's the main barrier, and that's in the way we should work.
Yeah. I think that in the technology, have to be reliable, have to be feasible from the technological point of view, have to be viable from the environmental point of view and so on, but have to be bankable at the end. So there is a problem always with the cost, so we have been always trying to attract international competitors, companies that are also competing. So we have offered the singularities that we have in our islands, in relation with the resources that we have, in relation with the energy model that we already have, but we also try to get some kind of competition between different companies with different technological developers. So it's important for us that this competition produce an acceleration of the process. And also we have a lot of international connection because of that. So I think that my advice in here will be try to attract as much as companies and competitors and research groups, and try to create some kind of competition in order that the technologies should be fit to your case, and also to try to improve and to develop in order to have advantages at your place.
And now, last but not least, we are going to focus in the environmental factors. We think that the main barrier that we need to avoid is the negative environmental impact on the ecosystem where you're working or where you are developing your infrastructures. And the one produced when installing the technology, the multi-use platform or the offshore windmill, in its installation, during its operation, and also on its decommissioning. The whole life cycle should be taken into account.
Yeah, that is always a main barrier. So in our case, our approach was have a long base ground study, doing a lot of measurements about the environmental status or the ecological status. Also, we have several studies in the open waters in order to have a baseline before doing anything. So over this baseline, we have been following whatever the evolution of several environmental parameters, always trying to show to the public and to release the information and to provide data. I think that the main problem that you can face is the doubt about precautionary principles or things like that. But if you have the data of what is the situation, the status of the ecosystems before before any action is done, and then you keep track of these environmental variables, you can show what the real evolution is, and you can also avoid the risk of problems and delays because environmental questions. In our case, in some cases, for example, we have even documented the positive effect of artificial reef when we develop some of the infrastructures. So my advice in here, our experience is that having this background of observation, you can be saved and you can be sure that you are going to not have problems with this topic. Okay, so it was a pity that we couldn't travel this time, but definitely we are very much interested in follow up what you're doing. So we are open to share all the knowledge and all the experience that we are collecting. Also in the other way around, we would like to exchange synergies with you, and we are also hoping and looking forward to see you soon and to stay and to share with you our experience. So, Silvia?
Exactly. Thank you very much, and looking forward to collaborating with you. Thank you.
Okay, take care.